Hi, welcome to Buzz, Indiana's Underground Business Voice. My name's Tony Selzo, and I have Lisa McDonald with Career Polish again in studio. Now, Lisa, I wanted to do two shows because I really feel like you got two different target markets there, and I wanted to kind of break this up so we could stay focused. Now, you actually do some coaching to employers after they brought on an employee on how to make that a win-win relationship. Now, talk to me about that. What happens with that?
What you'll find is that sometimes you'll have a team and things just aren't clicking the way they should.
Oh, really?
You know
that happens?
You have the right team. I know. Go figure.
You'll have a team and they don't all work together?
I know.
Oh, unbelievable.
You knew. So things just aren't the way they should be.
Okay.
And sometimes you're just too close to it.
Okay.
So you need somebody to come in and really evaluate and say, okay, do you have all of the components of the team that you need? Okay. Are you addressing each thing?
Now, what are the ways that you figure out and show that boss or that owner or whoever that is that here's objectively what's going on, even though you think this is what's going on over here?
The first thing is sitting down and talking to them.
Okay.
What are your goals? What are your objectives? What are your results?
Sure.
What are they saying to you? And asking them your mission statement. And somebody normally in a company can tell you their mission statement, but then ask them, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Do they really know what that means anymore?
Not only what does it mean, how many of your employees actually know what it is or what it means?
Or subscribe to it.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different ball of wax, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you start asking questions, you're starting peeling back the layers of the onion, and you start to get to some core problems, and then you do what?
Then we have a consultation. Then we say, okay, this is where we are. This is what we see. Now, where do you want to go?
So a gap analysis.
A gap analysis.
Here's where we are. Here's where we want to go.
Right.
Okay.
And it's really key that they're involved in this and say, okay, where do you think the issues are? And then if it's for their team environment, talk to their team. Okay. Where do you think the issues are?
And those are usually completely different things.
Absolutely. So you need to bring the two together and say, okay, here's what we need. There may be expectations on the management side, but unless they're setting those expectations and have a performance management system in place to measure these and go forward, that's where the gap is going to be.
So I have a very good friend who runs a very successful business. I'm not going to throw him out under the bus here, but I found out after 7 years that he never had a weekly meeting. And and he wonders why certain people didn't know what the critical success factors were for that business. And I was just floored. And what I'm really finding is that's not necessarily the exception. That may be the norm. Yeah.
You assume.
Yeah.
You just assume. It's just another really important factor that we worked with are sales managers. People who were terrific sales leaders and then they're promoted as a manager. Yeah. They're not trained as a manager. Yeah. And so there's a huge
In fact, a lot of times they're awful managers.
Terrible.
The same things that made them great salespeople make them awful managers.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so that's a huge disconnect, and it's a disconnect on every level. But one of the most important things is communication, and your communication isn't just verbal. Okay. What are you saying to your employees when you're not discussing what your goals are, what your mission is, and how we achieve those? What is that telling them?
Yeah, those are very important.
Right. Yeah. Right. We're going to get there with or without you. Yeah. And how long are you going to keep those employees?
One of the great book that I just got done reading a couple months ago was The Carrot Principle. And how we think that it may be income or compensation is important. It's like fifth in the chart of importance.
Recognition, acknowledgement.
Number one, and I it was just so amazing that was that significant, And I kind of knew it, but I didn't know it to that level. And just putting those programs in place can make huge differences in company culture.
Absolutely. And do you know which employee on your staff resonates most with that? Some are driven by the acknowledgments factor, some are driven by the money, and some are driven that they want promotion.
So are sales managers your perfect client for this?
Sales managers are a perfect client. And I think any type of management, whether it be a sales
any particular space?
Financial industry is very big. I was in the financial industry for several years.
You know the language, you know the jargon. Sales managers in the financial space is a good target for you. Okay, same kind of group that you're networking with in this one, or is that going to be a totally different power circle for you?
It's going to be a somewhat different power circle because it can be a business owner who has a small company, or it can be trainers, developer, HR within a larger company.
Could be any really strategic advisor for that company. It could be an accountant. It could be a lawyer. It could be somebody else that's calling and dealing with that business owner. So you, and one of the things that's important, I think you can have, if you're going to have two different target markets, build two different power circles and work them consecutively. Right. The same disciplines work in either space.
Absolutely.
So how again do we reach you if we're so inspired by this incredible show that was done here today? Call now. How do they find you?
Our website is careerpolish.net.
Okay.
Our office number is 317-850-7991. The website, or my email address is lisa.mcdonald@careerpolish.net.
Now, Lisa, you've been buzzed twice.
Twice?